Behind me is a Lexus LC500, which is potentially one of my next new cars that I'm gonna buy, because this is just, I've driven it for a week. Lexus lent this car to me because I tweeted, I was saying I miss the Lexus, and so Lexus were like, would you like to borrow a Lexus? And I was like, I'm not going to say no, am I? This car has been so much fun for this past week. I've been moving during this past week as well. So every time I want to do something fun, have a little bit of fun, jump in this. Even if it's just going to Sainsbury's, going to Tesco, going to anywhere, this car, I'm in love with it. So what's kind of frustrating, as I said, I've had this for about a week, which is a long time to have a car. It's not. It's really not. It's just a little teaser. I think they knew. They planned. They were like, right, we leave it to him just for a week because then he's going to want more. And if he wants more, he's going to have to buy one, isn't he? Today, I'm going to do my best to explain to you as to why this is probably one of my next cars. Hello, cyclist. Now, normally, I'm in a very tight spot. Normally, I would be like, this is going to be a struggle. But quite frankly, it's not, because I have rear wheel steer, and that makes my life so much easier when turning this big behemoth of a vehicle. It's so easy. Look at this. And just like that, we are away. Now, luckily, I've been driving this thing for the past hour. Let's just pretend that I didn't film a video and realize it wasn't in focus. So we're gonna go for a nice little cruise for a moment, and in no time whatsoever I'm gonna want to do this. Wow, I love this thing. I am a Lexus fanboy through and through. If you're watching this video expecting a non-biased review, please leave. Everyone has their own definition of a driver's car to me, because some people, I've read reviews that the Supra is a driver's car. I don't know where they got that hoggledy-poggledy, because quite honestly, I highly disagree. You ask, what does hoggledy-poggledy mean? I don't know, I just made that word. Is that actually a word? My lordy, you're so good. You're so good, Lexus. So this is a more like finished, refined version of the LC that I've driven. I've driven some early ones, I think it was like the first year, but they've since added so many cool little features and doodads and doohickeys and made it just much better than it was from the start. Of course, it was still great. It was already kind of like a refined RC. The RC was almost like a test car. This is the real business. It costs almost twice, so I should hope so. But the only one thing, I have one complaint that I will fire, is that it doesn't have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in the UK, which is just a bit bizarre to me, because why? I want that too. That was one of the cool things about the Supra, is that it has Apple CarPlay but not Android Auto. It's kind of annoying. But if this had both, mate, that would just be that covered. It's the only Lexus car that I believe still doesn't. Every other one, I think, has it as an option. Do it! Tunnel, 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 tunnel. First gear, tunnel. This is stuck. How is this EU regulation quiet flyby noise? This is a stock exhaust and it sounds like that. But they only gave it to me a week. I know it's I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I want more. Like I need more. What would you do in my position if you knew you could get various older supercars, but I don't want a supercar for the sake of having a supercar? I want something that I love, and I love this. It's very expensive, but in my opinion it's worth this price range, especially like compared to some other cars. And to me, it's the definition of a driver's car for me. I think with driver's cars, the definition, it's in the eyes of the beholder. Because as I said, there's some reviews of the BMW, the Toyota Supra, saying that it's a driver's car. There's also people say that BMWs are very much driver's cars. I'm not sure I agree, to be honest. I don't feel connected to that car. It feels very much like a GTR in terms of it drives itself. This, I feel like I'm in control, and I'm confused as to what the hell some people are doing on the road. Do you ever just watch some people drive and you So, is this going to be my next purchase, or one of my next purchases? Maybe. I wish I filmed my first drive in this car. I put my foot down and like when it warmed up, and this thing just screams, it sings. Let's hit that red line. I know it's not a real red line, but it's so much better than the wheezing of most modern cars. Come on! But then there's the RCF Track Edition and the RCF, the new model in general, that just also could take my fancy. Because if I like this, I'm pretty sure I like those just as much. But again, this is a more refined version. But those cars have been refined since my version 2. I think I had the earliest model, maybe just a year after the earliest model as well. I love that I can cruise around so smoothly. Oh, this is a smooth road. That's good. My camera's gonna like this. I think a lot of people will go for a supercar at this stage. But if I enjoy this more, like I think I want to try some supercars, of course, but if I enjoy this more, I'm gonna go for this. This is very, very close to the line. I don't think I'd need anything faster. In reality, you don't need anything faster than I've already got. The Supra is this, I believe the Supra may be a bit faster than this, but this feels faster. They may be very close, but this feels faster. The sound alone makes it feel faster, and the stock sound alone, it sounds like a car should sound, okay? And I'm not saying that's because it's a V8, but it's just because it makes noise. Most cars today do not make noise. If you've driven an American Supra, those things are louder. Do I wish I could borrow it for longer than a week? Of course I bloody do. I would borrow this forever if I could. How about you just give me one? Right? That'll be fine, right? You've got plenty of them. How you just look at little old me. I'll borrow one. I'll make one cool. I mean, they already are cool, but I mean, I'd make it even cooler, make it even spicier. I've not even been to this area before. I don't know where I am. I'm just kind of driving. I'm following people. That may seem weird. I may look like a bit of a drug dealer. I don't know. This just triggers an emotion in me that I don't receive very often. And I feel like I should, like, it's my duty as a person to be kind to myself and buy myself a Lexus. I'm driving around a very small place right now, and that's something I didn't even intend to do. There's not much room on some of these roads, but I feel so confident in that I can make it. The only thing that scared me about the RC, I would have to search up places before I went to make sure it could fit, okay? That was, again, more because I was worried about my wheels. I don't want to curb my wheels. These ones are obviously stock and they're a bit inwards. That's what happens with a stock car. But in terms of parking, I would still probably be a little bit scared. At least I am currently. I haven't taken it to a multi-story. I don't plan to. It's not my car. I don't want to curb. Oh God, this is tight. There's an ambulance right there. We've got loads of room. I don't even know why I slowed down like that. It feels huge inside. The interior is beautiful, but it's massive. I love, by the way, the red and black. Easily my favorite color combination of this. Everyone's looking. Yeah, that's right. This LC sexy, right? Mercedes in the bin, Audi in the bin. So this is 2 lanes here, but I can't really. Thankfully there was a light, but look at that turning. I could have easily gone into that other lane. Magical beast. This just needs big old titanium exhaust, bit of spice, just a little bit of spicy wheels, nice little wrap, nice little body kit, and this would be my perfect car, and I don't think I would ever get rid of it. So do I be kind to myself and buy one? This is going to be me. This whole video is just going to be me deciding, should I treat myself? Do I deserve it? have I been a good person this year? Next year? Maybe, depends when. Normally YouTubers are quite subtle about when they get their cars and what they want and all this stuff, but I think with this car I want to be a bit more open, just because I want to create a story around it. Because you already know I had an RC and I love the Lexus brand and I miss it. I drove it on Forza again recently, the RC, and it just re-triggered emotion. Of course it doesn't feel anything like it does in Forza. It feels much more stable and sturdy than it does in Forza, and especially this, the LC, even more so. You intoxicating car. Lexus is a drug to me. It's the only drug I have, because I even drink alcohol. Do you know why? Because then I can spend more money on Lexuses. That's right. That's right. Sober for all my life. Maybe I'm just drunk all the time. Has you ever wondered, what if you don't drink, are you just drunk all the time? Or are you sober all the time? We didn't think about that, did we? We did not. We're sober all the time. That's kind of the point. I know a really cool characteristic of rear wheel steer cars. So if you get, for example, a GTT instead of a GTR, they feel some pseudo all-wheel drive. They feel very like you could pass it. You could think, if someone told you it was all-wheel drive, you could believe them. Just look at the turning of this thing. And someone just ran out on me. With racing games, what I tend to do is I have my set cars that I want. Okay, I already know I want a Skyline. I want a Skyline. I already have my set cars I want, which is Skyline, like a Camaro, an SLS, or something similar. And then I usually drive cars on the way to get those. I've come to realize that I really do adore those cars as we come up to them. So my starter car, I always keep my starter car and all this stuff. But with normal cars, it's a little bit different, because obviously you want to sell and upgrade and all that stuff. In terms of this car, obviously more so the RC, it's almost one of those cars where I fell in love with it without fully meaning to. I went to see one. I should probably tell the story one time about going to see an RC just on a whim. I was like, you know, I'm gonna go see an RC, because I saw Top Gear review of it. I saw all the reviews of it. Of course, everyone was a bit like, I don't know. But then Fifth Gear was like, it's so much faster than the M4. It was all up and down. And of course I drove it, a test drove. It's the only first car I actually test drove before buying. I drove it and I was like, I love it. It's my first automatic. I got in and I was like, oh, how do I do it? Like, what do I do? And here we are in another one with a relationship with Lexus to the point where they will let me borrow a car for a week, which is fantastic. Do I want one again? Of course I do. But how badly? Pretty badly. I guess you shall find out if I like it. So what would you do? Let me know in this situation. A bit of information from my brain will come to me when I get back in the Supra after driving this, because I haven't driven the Supra in months, weeks. We're also about to go into another lockdown, so come on, give it a blip. Oh, look at Supra. That's a matte Supra. That's a I do it myself. I do it myself, okay? It's okay. It's let people do it, because take it from me, it's a BMW. I would like to try and play with the Supra a little bit more. Can I modify it to make it feel less BMW? But the way it drives is a BMW, and I don't get on with it. It feels more German than it does Japanese. I'm actually giving this back right after this. Like, I feel emotional, and if I feel emotional, buy one. I would, but I just spent a lot of money on a house, so maybe eventually. Hopefully you did enjoy. Be sure to smash the like, subscribe if you are new, and let me know if you want to see more content like this, because then I can convince Lexus to give me another one. Until next time, peace.